No idea. Okay.
I have no idea.
Nate,
Yeah, no
Nate,
idea.
Brandon Boss says, thanks for the great talk. Oh, bearded ones. You are welcome, sir. Demonic Davros asked Dr. Krauss what his explanation of dark matter and dark energy is. He does answer that in detail too. 0132. How is Earth so curvy if the universe is flat though? Oh man, he got us there, didn't he?
I like curvy.
Flat to the next level. See.
KBO Parsi says, does time exist, or is it just a unit of measurement of decay or change in atomic or particle level?
Oh, that's a great question. That we'll address that too. That would take quite some time. That's actually Platonic time with respect to reductionist approach to time. I can get into that too tonight. That's a great topic, actually.
Weird sequitur show.
Because,
I like that.
Yeah, because we'll also talk tonight. If you guys may be familiar with a guy named Richard Feynman, a very brilliant doctor, and he actually in his Feynman diagrams, he actually posits that particles, antimatters, are going backwards in time, and a lot of what you discuss on that is relating to that. So you have a particle like an electron that's going to vacillate between an electron and a positron, and the positron going backwards in time. Same thing with virtual particles being created, and you have an electron and a positron. Well, one's going forward in time, and the other's going backwards in time. So on that quantum level, you have that kind of thing where there is a change. But I was going to ask, if I ever have the chance to talk to Dr. Krauss again, how does that affect on something of more along the lines of a Platonic time, or as opposed to a reductionist approach? But we're going to be talking about that a little bit, because I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff, because people don't understand we have time travel. We have particles that go backwards in time. That's part of standard model, actually. Pretty cool, right?
It is. We're almost. I've got about 6 more to go, guys, and then I have a. It's not really an announcement, but I have a challenge that I would like to levy out there to people who may be interested. So Gandalf the Cray says, what is the likelihood of us manipulating exotic matter to weave holes through the universe like space wizards? Check Steve's channel out after this, and you can find that out. I just asked that question, Gandalf. I see you did it again in live chat. Andrew Foppel says, Lawrence, will you ever consider doing a hip-hop voiceover / skit on a hip-hop album like Neil deGrasse Tyson did? ESO, I'm here for Red's voice jumping an octave up. Yeah, that was nice. AC Castillo, did you ever meet Douglas Adams, and what do you think of his writings? I did not. Steve, have you ever met Douglas Adams?
Oh, I know who he was. I love his books.
Pragmatic culture. You didn't ask my question, Kyle. I just explained that. Pragmatic culture. Quiasa says science is racing so far ahead of the level the masses are at. How can a layperson like me hope to catch up to what science really implies? It's sometimes scary. You can't. You just have to rely on Google. That's the best advice we can give you here.
Exactly.
Just Google the shit out of it.
By the way, I just found out that Mr. Television Design said I'm wrong, so therefore I got to be correct on this. So thank you for that.
Bill says continue to.
Thank you for the confirmation. Yeah, thank you for the confirmation, Mr. ID.
Corey with a very nice super chat, and of course we're going to read Corey. But he says no need to read. Always great shows and topics. Thank you for the great work, Kyle and Steve. You are quite welcome. And David. We have to add David on there too. Couldn't do without David. Thank you very much for those super chats. I wanted to. There's a topic that I would love to have debated on here, and it's become it comes up quite a bit from every political cycle. Depending on the candidate that's running, it'll come up. Some cycles it may not be a big issue, but for some reason this is becoming a really, really hot topic on the Democrat side in this election. Every candidate so far has been asked this question. There was a piece read about it in the New York Times focusing in on this question. And so I think it would be really interesting to debate, and that is, should we as a nation with our history of slavery pay reparations? and that could come in the form of anything. I'm open to people who are watching. If you're passionate about this subject, please email me at live@NonSequitur or tag me in the chat. But you can argue from several different angles here. You can argue that yes, we should do reparations. It should be a money transaction between the African American community and the government. It can be in terms of revitalizing urban areas or impoverished areas, and that's a form of reparations. But I think when I say reparations, it hinges on two things. Number one, that the government is accepting responsibility for this particular period in time and that it was wrong. And two, it is then giving back in some form to compensate for that area. So those are the two things that I want to make sure that we keep in mind. That's how we're going to define it. Reparations are defined as an acknowledgement from the government that this was a injustice that was committed and that it was wrong, and that that government is then now going to apply some sort of compensation for that, be it monetary, be it revitalization of certain areas. You can go in either way you want, but I want to make sure that we are all on the same page. That those are the two.
So you're defining it as restitution included with reparations.
I'm defining it as these are the two criteria that we're going to be going on. Number one, that the government acknowledges that it did wrong. Number two, that it's making either a contribution or a monetary payback for that wrong. Okay. I just don't want people. I don't want people like arguing from different points. You know what I mean? If we can agree on those two issues, that's how we're going to define.
Two. That's my stance. I'm for one and not for two. If you separate them like that.
One, not for two. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm fine for having the acknowledgement that they done screwed up, but I don't believe that there should be any kind of reparations. It just would make no sense.
And this is going to be a contentious issue, which is why I think it'll be a good debate, and I think that it can. Yeah, well, that's true. But yeah, I think if you're passionate about that, please get in contact with me, and we will have a discussion on that. I think that'd be something different and good. It's interesting to go back and read the answers that the people who are running for in 2020 give. I was surprised at some of the answers. I think Bernie used to be staunchly, or he was asked about it several years ago, and he said no several years ago, but he may be changing his tune a little bit this year.
He needs to get elected. He really wants to get elected, so I don't think he'll do whatever it takes. He's running again.
Yeah,
good for him.
Yeah. I think it's good.
Hey, before we go to, I just want to give a shout out to a Facebook group that's been bugging me to do that. So it's the Kent Hovind, the Man, the Ministry, and the Message Facebook group. If you think it's a Kent Hovind, that group? It's not. It's really.
Well, it started off that way. Do you know the backstory? And correct me if I'm wrong, but
evolved. Evolved.
I love that.
James do a really good job as admins, and even the old man Frank does a pretty good job too. So
they used to be all fans of Hovind, and then they kind of got their ass handed to them, and they kind of dissipated, and it just migrated over to more of a parody.
Specific admins, but it was the original Kent Hovind fan club. And it definitely evolved over time, and now it's a very open group and very, very well admin.
Oh, I like it. I like the group. I'm in that group, but yeah, it's just kind of funny.
But they were bothering me, and they
shout out
didn't
to them,
think I was going to.
Good for them.
Good job. Phil in the chat says, "Please have people of color on the panel." I would love that. I would absolutely love that. That's why I'm asking you guys to. Come to me and tell me that you want to be involved with that. I think that's important.
I got a perfect person for that. How about Psychopath Atheist? He's been asking to come on, and we were going to try to figure out a topic for him.
I think he emailed me.
I did. I told him to email you. Yeah, so good. Because I was just talking to him to email you not too many days ago. So hopefully he did and figure out a topic. This might be right up his alley. I really like listening to Psycho. Right? I have no idea, to be honest with you. He's not. He's very atypical of somebody who's a black activist. I mean, I really I love listening to him. I go to his channel and just be fascinated. He has a perfect radio voice too, which drives me. It drives me crazy with envy because he just sounds so amazing. And I think his talents are going to waste. But yeah, let's see if he wants to do something like that.
Yeah, ask him to find out. Okay. Bill, you had a video that premiered. You had a video that premiered.
Yeah, it's gonna happen in about 10 minutes on my channel. Again, the link to my channel's in the video description down here. It's just a 10-minute video on citizen science, but it's a lot of visual stuff and shows again some of the discoveries that were made right here in Arizona.
After Bill's video, make sure you go check that out. Then Steve will be having his hangout, so you can continue this talk. I would like to extend a very sincere thanks for setting this up and putting this together to Bill. He reached out to Dr. Krauss and made this thing happen, and I couldn't be more happier with the way that it went. I thought this was a great conversation. So, Bill, you get a standing ovation tonight.
Thank you.
I would stand, but I'm not wearing any pants. But
yeah.
It was an interesting thing. Let me just tell this before we close out. I was in the airport last night, and it was like around 9 o'clock, and all of a sudden I had this. It's like you get used to doing things on the show, because it's an everyday thing, and you're, between 8 and 10, you're here doing this. And literally, I swear, it was like 9 o'clock, and my hand slowly started drifting towards my face in face palm position. Like it was natural. Like I had no control over it. It was just like, oh, why am I doing this? Why am I face palm?
Did you watch the Flat Earth stuff with Godless Engineer and Fight the Flat Earth over the weekend? Oh my God. It was.
No, I didn't have a chance.
I'm surprised they don't have a cave in my head. I'm surprised it's like a huge indentation. I'm like, holy crap, where do we find these people?
I can't even watch the Flat Earth guys. I'm sorry. It's just far gone.
These people, I'm telling you.
I draw the line at people that think the world is 6,000 years old and that they rode dinosaurs. That's as far as I can go. I can't go any
even that anymore. I can't accept. I just can't take much of it any longer. I mean, it's just it's so unbelievable that people in this day and age are that incompetent to think that the Earth is 7,000 years old. And they're the people that are putting out that narrative. I'm at the point now that I'm willing to say that probably 90% of them are absolute con artists, at least in the higher echelon. They know better. They just don't care. They're doing it for money.
I think a lot of them don't believe, but you're right. They're taking advantage of people who want to
absolutely.
I'm going to finish this stream. And the way that I think would be appropriate, and that is by reading the quote that I read at the beginning of the stream, because I think it's that good. The amazing thing is that every atom in your body came from a star that exploded. And the atoms in your left hand probably came from a different star than the atoms in your right hand. It really is the most poetic thing I know about physics. You are all stardust. You couldn't be here if stars hadn't exploded, because the elements, the carbon, the nitrogen, oxygen, iron, all of the things that matter for evolution, they weren't created at the beginning of time. They were created in the nuclear furnaces of stars. And the only way they could get into your body is if those stars were kind enough to explode. So forget Jesus. The stars died so that you all could be here today. And none shine brighter than those people that watch NonSequitur.